Just like with absolute value equations, the very first thing that we want to do is we want to get this portion isolated. We're going to get this isolated. In order to do that, the first thing we need to do is get rid of the 6. So we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. So when I do that, I get negative 2 times the absolute value of x minus 6 is going to be greater than, when I bring this over, I'm going to subtract it, so I end up with negative 2. Negative 2. Everybody okay? All right. Next thing I need to do is get rid of this negative 2. In order to get rid of it, I have to divide both sides by negative 2. Well, if I divide both sides of an inequality by a negative number, I have to make sure that I switch the inequality sign. Okay? No matter when you do it, you've got to go ahead and switch the inequality sign. From this point on, again, it's just like solving an absolute value equation. I have the positive case, which is exactly the way that it is. I've got x minus 6 is less than 1. I have the opposite of that case, which is the opposite of x minus 6 is less than 1. So the procedure is exactly the same. Exactly the same. Over here, I'm going to go ahead and add 6. So I get x is less than 7. Over here, I have to distribute. I get negative x plus 6 is less than 1. I need to subtract 6, so I get negative x is less than negative 5. Now, once again, I'm going to divide by a negative number. If I divide by that negative number, I've got to switch that inequality sign. So x must be greater than 5. Divide both sides by negative 1. X has to be greater than 5. Now, I'm going to go ahead and graph this. 5 is here. 7 is there. It is just greater and less than. Consequently, these are going to both be open circles because that number is not included in the solution set. This side says x has to be greater than 5. This side says x has to be less than 7. So consequently, our solution set is between 5 and 7, not including 5 and 7. So there is my answer to this problem. And you'll notice once again, it's an AND graph. So it is an AND solution. X must be greater than 5 and x must be less than 7. So that's how you solve an absolute value inequality. Steps are exactly the same as they are with an absolute value equation.